Hi, my name's Kerry. I own Eat Cake in Auckland, New Zealand, and I'm also a proud ambassador for Pettinice. Today I'm going to show you how to create a watercolour effect on your fondant cake, and also as an added extra how to do the drip style that's so popular at the moment. Have a look at my previous video on how I get my sharp edges and smooth fondant finish. The link will be in the comments down the bottom. All I do is put a little bit of the colour in a little plastic bottle or a paint or whatever you have to hand. And then I use a high content alcohol. Rose spirit is good, or anything that's above about 60% alcohol. And I mix this in with the paint colour. I also have an extra bottle of alcohol on the side so I can dilute it if the colour is too strong. Now the alcohol will evaporate off the cake once it's dried. And I'm going to use my sponge. And I've also rolled out a little bit of fondant so I can test the colour on the fondant and get it to the consistency and colour that I want. I'm going to start with purple, and I'll just put a little bit on the sponge. I'm just going to paint it on. Now I quite like that colour, so I don't think I need to dilute it down any further. So you want to get your cake and your colour and just dip a little bit in the bottom of your brush, and starting at the bottom, we're just going to brush the colour on until you get it to where you want it. I'm going to dip it in a little bit of clear alcohol just to help spread that colour out and thin it out to give that real pretty watercolour effect that we're going for. Now, it doesn't matter if it's not even because we're going to put two other colours on top of this. So again, I'm going to test the colour on my little test strip of fondant to make sure I've got it how I like it. Now you can go over where you've painted the purple. And this just creates a really pretty blend between the colours. Then lastly, we're going to put the next colour on, which is the pink. We're just going to test that colour. And we're going to add the pink on, the top colour. And there you have it. Really simple, really easy, and a beautiful finished effect. So for the next part we're going to be using Bakels Truffle. This product is excellent for achieving that pretty drip or drizzle style that's so popular at the moment. To get it ready, all you do is put it in the microwave in its bottle for 30-second bursts at a time. You should be able to pour it at this stage directly out of the bottle. Now for me, I like to put it in a separate container so I can check that the consistency is exactly what I need it to be to go on my cake. So we're putting it in. Now at this point, you can add colour to it using candy colours or powder colours to make it any colour you like. Now that's a good drip consistency, and so we're going to put it directly on the cake. And we're just going to spoon it on and then just push it over the edge where you want it to drip down. Because the cake's nice and chill and you've got your truffle at a perfect consistency, it shouldn't run too far down the cake, and you should get perfect looking pretty drips all the way around. Now once you have got drips going all the way around the cake, we're just going to fill in the top with the rest of our truffle. And using a spatula, we're just going to smooth it around. Doesn't matter if it's not perfectly smooth, because it looks pretty anyway. And finally, we're going to put our decorations on the top. Today we've got some wafer paper flowers that we made earlier, some meringues and some freeze-dried berries and some macarons. So we're just going to place these on top. Because your truffle has just been put on, it will be nice and soft, and anything you put on the top will just stick nicely to the top of the cake. And there you have it, a watercolour style drip cake with some pretty toppings. My name is Kerry Morris from Eat Cake. Thank you for watching today.